Welcome to the WanderLearn podcast. I'm your host, France Tapon. This is a short episode featuring Sym Blanchard asking me questions. I'm not going to give much of an intro. I'm just asking you to enjoy it and to become a patron at patreon.com/ftapon. And now enjoy the show. I think you can hold two ideas at the same time that are kind of contradictory.
Yeah, and
okay.
That was one of the benefits of taking LSD, is that you get a view that, oh, here's another way of perceiving things. Right. You know, here's a different way of perceiving things. And you realize it's infinite, and there's an infinite number of paths you can take. And so it's, and they're all illusions, but you...
Is that what happened when you tripped out?
Yeah, I mean, that was my main takeaway.
What year did you do it?
71 through 78.
How many times did you take LSD?
Probably about 40 or 50.
40, 50 times?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I hiked the John Muir Trail on acid.
Wow.
Yeah,
you never told me this.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I loved it.
Wow. And you never got yourself into deep shit?
I had a couple kind of bad experiences, but...
like, give me an example.
Well, I took it at home when when I was staying with my parents. I was like...
You're like a teenager?
Teenager,
or?
yeah.
Okay.
And I was watching Eric Severide, and his face would turn into Lyndon Johnson.
I don't know who Eric Severide is.
He was a famous broadcaster.
Okay.
He's like Walter Cronkite.
Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of, I got tired of it, and I wanted to stop, and it didn't stop. You're on a trip. And,
yeah, of course. It lasts for, 6 hours sometimes?
Yeah, 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Try to go to sleep, and you couldn't sleep. I guess there was some speed or something. And so it turned out not to be a good experience, but it wasn't too bad. But then when, go backpacking and take
It's not addictive.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I don't plan on taking it in the future. And if I did, I want to be in the right setting, to be.
What would be the right setting?
Well, have the earphones with the music, great music, and have a therapist there or a shaman who's guiding you through. Oh, and in the right area, or you're in nature and you have the right people around you. But
who are not tripping.
A few people who aren't tripping. Yeah. Yeah.
I've always wanted to take LSD, and I remember Steve Jobs said he didn't want to hire anybody who had not taken LSD at least once.
Yeah, it's a good experience under the right circumstances. But
right. What would you say out of the 40 times that you took it? What percentage of the time were good experiences versus bad ones?
Probably about 90 were good. 90% were 90%. Good.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 95% maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it now because I'm fine with my life and I don't see any need to change. But
I'm fine with my life. I still want to take LSD.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you? I mean, just
because I've had the experience.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
And I got my insight, and maybe if it's like learning a new language or doing an experience, going to Africa or something. Mm-hmm. Here's an LSD trip, and if you're in the right, you have the right people with you, to guide you through and stuff. And have you read How to Change Your Mind?
Yeah, by Pollan.
Yeah,
Michael Pollan.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And but people have alcoholic problems, and supposedly that helps people kick the habit. Is LSD? It's amazing.
I would love to take it, and when I was in Burning Man, I kind of did a half-ass effort to look for it, but I didn't make. It's got to be something I got to do sometime in my life.
Oh, okay.
I've got to do it. So if you ever got a druggie you've probably lost all your connections, but set me up sometime, or anybody listening to this podcast. Yeah. Unless you're in the FBI.
I think they're supposed to legalize it pretty soon. There's some states.
I don't think they're going to legalize it.
I think there's some states.
Where are you reading this news? Are you reading this on Fox News, your favorite source?
That was another question I wanted to ask you. You don't drink, and you don't smoke, and you don't take caffeine. How do you feel that's helped with your lifestyle? Has it not hindered you? I mean, has it helped you by not having, drinking wine or drinking?
Yeah, I think overall it's a good thing. It's interesting. Recently, I don't know if you've read the same reports I have, that originally for many years now, at least a decade or two, they've been saying that a red wine, a glass every day, is better than not taking red wine. So I almost felt like taking red wine just out of medicine because I find the whole thing revolting.
Right.
But very recently, in the last couple of years, it seems to be reversing. Like any amount of alcohol is actually not good.
Right.
Have you heard this?
Yeah. The USDA came up with that, and they said that, alcohol will increase the risk of cancer. It'll help with, it's good for your cardiovascular, it cleans out your arteries more.
Red wine.
But the cancer risk is so much higher with alcohol. So,
and yet I do take resveratrol tablets.
Oh, you do?
Sometimes. Not always, but when Amazon sends them for free.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's because some people suppose that that's the key ingredient that is helping people in red wine is resveratrol.
Yeah.
But anyway, for caffeine, there's mixed studies there. Overall, they tend to indicate that as long as you're not terribly addicted to caffeine, it's a very good at athletics performance as well as cognitive performance.
Yeah, mental things,
yeah. So in some ways, maybe it hurt me, the fact that I never drank caffeine. Well, I did take Coca-Cola at night. Sometimes I would order pizza when I was in college and a Coca-Cola. So that has caffeine. But I wasn't I never drank coffee ever in my life.
Yeah.
And tea I almost rarely drank. Certainly not caffeinated tea. But maybe that actually kind of slightly hurt me because it really does boost your cognitive abilities. But I still went to Harvard and did that without that kind of help. So I'm not sure it would have made a big difference. And what I like about not being dependent on caffeine is, first of all, I can go backpacking and be anywhere in the world, and I don't need coffee to wake up. Yeah. Right? That's one benefit.
You don't have to get your stove and cook up the water and pour and
I feel
drink.
sorry for people who are addicted to like that. They gotta have my coffee.
Yeah.
I know this one. I know people who are just like they cannot.
I was addicted.
Yeah, they cannot function until they get their coffee. Like, gotta get my coffee. Yeah. And I was like, feel sorry for people like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy.
You're so much freer. You don't have, don't have to have the alcohol. You don't have to end cigarettes. You don't do the cigarettes.
Right. Yeah.
Marijuana.
Yeah. Anything. Yeah, I just never wanted to be dependent on a substance besides, water and some calories. I need that. But here's the thing. A lot of people pat me on the back as if I'm like some sort of hero. I'm not, because I hate the taste of smoke. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I think coffee is disgusting. So it's like me patting you on the back. Hey, congratulations, you don't drink piss. You're like, good job, Sym. You don't drink piss, from your urine. Like, good job, and you don't eat shit. Wow, you're amazing. So it's no accomplishment to like not consume something that you find revolting. There's nothing. So I don't deserve any medals or awards for this.
Well, the big thing you do is that there's such a cultural bias.
Right.
You saw at the conference we had all these things of mimosas and alcohol, and then there's all the coffee lined up. Okay, everybody get your coffee. So it's culturally.
It's great, and especially in college where you're getting shoved a beer in your face all the time.
And when we're in Nam, it's kind of smoke them if you got them.
Exactly, right. Back in Nam.
I do just like that. No alcohol, no smoking, and it's so freeing.
Right. I wish I had your discipline though, because I don't. I wish I could drink less. Sorry. I wish I would eat less sugar and refined carbohydrates than I do. I don't purchase it. But so often in my travels,
it's so good.
I'm offered it one way or another. And,
we
we're at this conference today. There's so many sweets lying around. I just consume it. I just take it. And you have a lot more discipline than I do, but also you're older than me, so maybe you're feeling more pressure to behave.
Except for desserts. You saw I dug into the chocolate mousse.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. But you're a much stronger vegan or vegetarian than I am. I'm pretty weak on that.
But you're right. It may be I'm older, so I kind of go, okay, it's going to affect me more.
And that ends this episode of the WanderLearn podcast, where we explore travel, technology, and transformation. If you'd like to see the show notes with links to what we've talked about, go to wanderlearn.com and click on this episode. If you'd like to connect with me, just remember Tapon. That's my first initial and my last name. Tapon is always my social media username. My website is ftapon.com. Do you want to leave me an anonymous voicemail where you can make a comment or ask a question? Then go to speakpipe.com/ftapon. Furthermore, if you'd like to get rewarded for supporting my projects, then go to patreon.com/ftapon. That's where you can pick up some remarkable rewards for as little as $2 a month. Now, 5 quick favors. Number 1, subscribe to the WanderLearn podcast. 2, download it. 3, share it. 4, review it. And 5, sign up for my newsletter at WanderLearn.com. Our theme music was composed by Eric Stratman. This is Francis Tapon, encouraging you to wander and learn.